My name is Micheal Runkel, and I want to go a little bit back in time so you know a little bit where it all started. 1993, March 8. The Truce of Paris was being signed between the Khmer Rouge and the government of Cambodia in Paris. And for me, had nothing to do with photography. I went directly there because it was a dream for me to see the temples of Angkor, go to see the temples of Angkor. And there, for the next 6 days, I traveled in all these temples every morning, sunrise to sunset, and they showed me this incredible beauty. What happens if you take nice photos, if you take the nice angles. Then I have been taking about 3.5 million photos, always trying to show the beauty of the world, all the different cultures, all the different traditions, and always, even if it's a rough place, to show the nice things about these places. That has been all my life, my intention for the last 30 years. And I'm here today to give you a little introduction how you could take nice photos as well. How you, no matter if you take your mobile or you have SLR cameras, when you go out traveling, you take maybe after that a little bit nicer photos. So I will go with you through what I'm going to talk about, because it has to be not too much technical, but some of the technical issues, how a camera works. So let's start with color and light. And I have to start, I'm not talking about the photography right now, I'm talking what I do first. Whenever I prepare a trip, the camera is the last thing, but the first thing is, how is the weather going to be there? How likely is it that I have good light? So first thing is always really try to look how the light is, because that really makes it different. You always try to have something colorful in your pictures. It makes a huge difference if you have nice bright colors or if it's all gray and shady and dark. So you see, this is a pretty flat place, so it's not too many colors there, but it changes when you have a person who has this red carpet around his body, and it completely changes the angle. It changes your how you feel about the photo. If he would not be there, it would be pretty flat. But you introduce the color, it's completely different. So just keep that in mind. Introduce the colors, always red, orange, yellow, and you will get really amazing photos of that. It's not very difficult, just easy to remember that. So when you go up early morning, especially in tropical areas, you will see there's always a chance you have some mist. And misty photos are always absolutely fascinating to take. Like here, Monument Valley, I think all of you know it. Early morning, 5:30, sun goes up, and you see all the mist between the towers. It's a complete different story if you go there at lunchtime. Same late afternoon, the orange, the yellow if you're in the desert. It makes such a nice, beautiful light. So, another thing, for those never heard of it, the blue hour happens always about 30 minutes after sunset. 30 minutes later, there's the last illumination of the sky. And that's going to be super beautiful, because you always get those very nice background. You always have this beautiful blue. So it's always like 10-15 minutes. You need to be fast, but you will get all that sky in that period of time. So the depth of field is basically the sharpness of the closest and the furthest object in the distance. So what you could do in all your mobiles, you have a professional mode, go on aperture, and you can change it there. Or, for those who don't want to change it, all the new mobiles go on portrait mode, and it automatically will set up the aperture for you. And you will get this beautiful, beautiful effect that the foreground is sharp, the background is unsharp. And that means always that the person, it will stick out. It will appear for you so much nicer because the background is blurred, and you will see how great that effect is going to be. When I do portrait photos, I never ask them, can I take a photo? And then I just stand there, say click, and I'm going. Why? In many places where people are used to that, they will stand like this. You know, they stand like in the army. So what you would do is you interact with people. And I can tell you, for more than 30 years of experience in every part of the world, be open, be friendly, be respectful to people, be kind, give them something back. And I promise you, it will be always rewarding. So next is perspective. Also, really an important issue. Perspective is how you get objects, people in perspective with the scenery around you. Just always try, when you take photos, put something in the foreground, on the side, but you will always give people who look at those photos a different perspective, a different idea, how actually everything is combined together. If you don't have people, which happens often when you're basically in very remote areas, you travel by yourself, take objects. Here, there's not much apart of coconuts, so I walked all the way from back there to get all the way here, get the coconut, and basically show again the whole photo looks different. In addition, because you lose the line, because you look at the object here and your eyes follow to the island back there. If you don't have any object, use any sort of caves, of windows to give it a frame. You're looking like in a television into the desert. You're looking into somewhere. And if you do that, the pictures coming out will be, again, super cool when you try to find that sort of angle. You need, for that, always a wide angle lens. If you have a regular angle, it will not work so much. Another easy hint was developed from Leonardo da Vinci, called the golden cut. He discovered already in the 16th century that if you take a picture or painting in his time, you divide it into like a grid, basically 4 lines, creating basically on the left-hand side 3 thirds, and you cross it with these 2 lines here. You place your objects you want to take photos from the perspective of what we just said, you place them on the corners or along the lines. And he found out, or in the 16th century, when he draw, that your brain will receive it in a way that you will like the painting. A big issue for many is you want to take nice photos, and then you come home and say, all these photos are blurry right now. Before you go to a place like that, change your settings. Really go and try to get a fast shutter speed. So the faster the shutter opens and closes, the sharper the photos is going to be. So if you have a SLR, go on the shutter mode, use 1,000th of a second, 2,000, no matter what what camera you have or what the movement is. So to give the idea, use a fast shutter speed if you want to take photos of movements, and you will be very happy about that because your photos will be sharp. One more thing. One is the shutter speed. The next is you use the focus on the person who is moving, or on the group of persons. So a brand new field, a brand new technique, developing extremely fast in the last couple of years. For me, complete game changer in my whole way of taking photos are drones. And drones give you the opportunity to take pictures when pictures have never been taken before. Gives me a whole new world. Because nowadays we have gazillions of photos of angles when we are on the playing field. But the air is giving you a complete new perspective. For all of you who starts taking photos with a drone, the first and most important advice to you, I highly recommend that to you, before you go on any trip, before you do any sort of this sort of fantastic exploration, stay at home, pack out the drone, read the manual, and then train. And really train how a drone works, what you can do with a drone. A few takeaways. So if you want to have, let's say, a church photographed and you don't want to have a blurry photo, just go on ISO, go from the regular into a higher ISO number, and then the sensitivity will be bigger, and then you can create photos which are crystal clear and sharp. It's very easy because you can increase the ISO and you will still get sharp photos on SLRs and on mobiles. Another issue, never try to cut off the feet or the hands or sometimes even the head. Look at the photo what you're gonna take. Because so often you're in this beautiful place, you want to take a group photo, and they take all the body of you and they cut the feet off. It doesn't look good. Look if the hands are there. Look if you don't cut anything off, your photos will be much better. And everybody can do that. Just remember that. We are all some sort of ambassadors. Some of the most traveled people in the world. So for us, it's up to us. We have communities, and I find it's important for us, and it's not a big deal. For us, being all here, having influence on other people, it's really important that we give them a smile, and I'm sure you get 100 smiles back. And thank you very much to you, and I'm very thankful for you paying attention today, and thank you very much.